Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
And my motherfucking dog, the Spider Anderson Silva, is vindicated and will be eligible to return to the octagon this October. Holy smokes, this came out of left field. I think of all the people that failed their drug test that were going to be coming back to the UFC, I don't think any of us saw this one coming. And what's crazy is, hell, we're hearing about John Jones' potential return. We're hearing about Brock Lesnar coming back. But still, we all kind of wrote Anderson Silva off. As all, he failed 2 drug tests. He's not to go anymore. We didn't even give him like the chance of, hey, maybe he's innocent as well. He did come out and say he was innocent, but since it was a second failed drug test, we kind of were just like, yeah, I don't know, dog. And on top of that, you know, the way he lost his belt to Chris Weidman and you know, he wasn't looking the best in his career, we kind of chalked Anderson Silva up as a victim to USADA. But now he's vindicated. The first failed drug test was dick pills. This failed drug test looks like was a contaminated substance, and USADA is saying this. So you can't use USADA to convict Anderson Silva when USADA's the same one coming out and telling you Anderson Silva's innocent. So anybody that thought Anderson Silva was, steroid cheat or whatever, looks like he's vindicated. Maybe he gets a little bit of his legacy back, but I still have a feeling he's going to be tarnished by those, you know what I'm saying, those drug test failures. And that's what's fucked up with this whole USADA situation. Really, I mean, it's happening a lot to a lot of the Brazilian fighters. I don't know if it's the Brazilian supplements over there, that they got dirty labs to make the substances contaminated, but a lot of Brazilian fighters now have been flagged, but then cleared by USADA. Junior Dos Santos most recently before Anderson Silva, along with 3 other fighters. There was like a lab that was busted by USADA, so 4 fighters were cleared for contaminated substances. Junior Dos Santos was eligible to return. But now the damage was kind of already done. You know, the damage was done whenever you said that these guys failed their drug tests. And for Anderson Silva, even more, he was a legend of the sport. He was looked at as one of the greatest fighters of all time, if not the greatest fighter of all time. But after those failed drug tests, he was off of everybody's list. I mean, you don't even really hear him in the conversation anymore after those failed drug tests. Now maybe we do, but it is what it is. I have a feeling his reputation might still be a little bit tarnished from this situation. But it says Anderson Silva is going to receive a 1-year suspension from USADA dating back to October 2017 after it was deemed his positive drug test was due to contaminated substances, sources confirmed. He will be eligible to return in October of 2018 and wants to resume his career. Anderson Silva released a statement and said, "I am vindicated. The past 9 months for me have been extremely difficult. I felt like my career and everything I had worked so hard for was dying and my future was hanging in the balance. I knew in my heart that I had done nothing wrong and fully cooperated with USADA during their inquiry to prove it. Today I have renewed energy, my legacy is restored, I can focus on getting back into the ring in the next chapter of my life after fighting." So it seems like Anderson Silva is going to be back this year. I got to admit, I'm always excited for an Anderson Silva fight. Even when he fought Daniel Cormier, I mean, we kind of knew how that fight could play out, and it actually had to for DC, but Anderson Silva still made it entertaining, and when he wasn't getting controlled, you know, was going for the finish, almost had it at one point. But with that being said, it's Anderson Silva with the fucking Spider. I don't know who he's going to fight. I don't know how he's going to look when he gets back. I just know I'm going to be tuning in, and now that he's vindicated, I really do feel better about his return to the octagon. You know, I don't feel like it, because if he returned later, it would be like, oh, we're going to be seeing like Anderson Silva after he failed 2 drug tests. Like, he's probably not going to win any fights. But now that he's vindicated, it's like, okay, maybe there's a chance. So you're telling me there's a chance that Anderson Silva can look good in his next fight. All right, I'm in. Now, I don't know who he's going to fight. I would like to see Anderson Silva, potentially be a guy that could fight in the UFC Legends League. Because in the middleweight division right now, there's some killers. Either he's going to be fighting like the top 15 guys. Do you really want to see Anderson Silva in the top 10, top 15 in the division? You know what I'm saying? Even though he is vindicated and he's coming back, I don't know how much longer he's going to be fighting in the UFC. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's not a spring chicken. And so with that being said, Vitor Belfort's talked about this Legends League, and I think Anderson Silva would be one of the perfect people for it. You're talking about legends, and he just got vindicated, so you can call him a legend again, and you don't have to feel shitty about it. But with that being said, Vitor Belfort, Anderson Silva, Lyoto Machida when he wants to. I mean, all these guys that are legends of the sport that could fight guys on their level at their age, maybe a little bit of different rules since they're veterans. We ain't got it. You know what I'm saying? That would be super dope to add, I think. So hopefully that can happen, because other than that, man, Anderson Silva is going to be returning to the octagon, but I'm not sure who would be a great matchup for him. Maybe he does, you know, just like super fights or something. That would be interesting, because I don't really want to see him like in the grind through the 185 fucking pound top 15 meat grinder with guys like Kelvin Gastelum, Robert Whittaker, fucking Anderson Silva versus David Branch. You know what I'm saying? But what I would like to see, maybe Anderson Silva versus like Nick Diaz. I mean, now that GSP's talking about moving down, we might not get to see Anderson Silva versus GSP, but that's a fight we would have all liked to see. That could be like our Mayweather-Pacquiao. Anderson Silva versus GSP? I mean, yeah, it's fucking 5 years late, or however many years late, but I would still love to see that fight now that he's vindicated as well. Let's go, Anderson Silva, GSP. Anderson Silva, Michael Bisping, but the thing is, Michael Bisping retired. But fights like that, man, I think those would be dope fights for Anderson Silva. We'll see what happens, but it is good as a person who got into this sport watching Anderson Silva. He was my favorite fighter of all time before his transgressions. It is definitely good to see him vindicated, man, actually. So with that being said, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments. But before we get out of here, we got 1 week. So, hey, by the way, yeah, I got to show y'all this because I'm probably going to show you it on multiple videos. Check this out. Shout out to my motherfucking dog, Yanking My Dandy Doodle. He said he will match all donations made to the full-time Shoey Startup Fund up to $1,000. So if you guys check out the GoFundMe in the description, we have 75 days, I believe, until our lease is up. We're trying to do big things, and he said he'll match every single donation up to $1,000. So that just half the goal. So full-time family, just for this week. Holy smokes, man. Trust me, I know he'll keep his word on it. This guy has donated in the past. I mean, he's definitely helped the channel in a big way in the past, so he's definitely good for his word. So with that being said, let the full-time family know what you guys think in the comments, and make sure you guys check out that GoFundMe in the description. There's a cool-ass video over there for you to check out as well.
Da 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 da! It's the motherfucking DOG.